Good morning, I'm Faye Thompson. I have not been videoing the recipes in about a little over 3 months because I broke my hip. It was a strange way I broke it. I broke it here in the kitchen, but between the stove and the oven. I just kind of turned around and the doctor seemed to think I broke my hip was the reason I fell. But I grabbed for the grate on the gas stove and it's not bolted down, so it came up and flew over into the warmer, broke the glass in the warmer, and I was sitting in the all that glass and couldn't get up, so my watch kept saying, "Did you fall? Did you fall?" And I thought, oh dear, ambulance come and got my house locked, I can't get to the door, so I had my cell phone in the office, but I had a landline phone here pretty close. So I thought, well, I'll call my son and not paying attention to the watch. So I told the watch no. And I reached over and got the cell phone, called my son, and he came over and called the ambulance. But my kid said, "Mom, I can't believe you told that phone no." That's the way we gave it to you. I said, well, I got to figure out something in the future to have a key they can get to. But anyway, I'm back. I'm still limping. I'm still on physical therapy. Don't know how long that will last, but and I also turned 92 last week. I'm doing pretty good for that age, I guess. And I have some more family recipes that I really want to share with you. So today, we're going to do puffed garlic cheese grits. I really like grits, and I like cheese grits. I've got several recipes that I use for grits, and they're all good. But this is just one today, and it's kind of like a souffle. But this is one that I thought I would do today. So let's get started. I left this butter out so it would be soft. Butter it pretty heavy. So we'll get this buttered first. Now that we have this dish buttered, I'm going to set it aside. We won't need it for a little while. The first thing we do is take 2 tablespoons of butter, and the next thing we're going to do is add 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of garlic chopped up. Now, there's one thing about garlic and you're cooking it, you don't want to overcook garlic. It's not like an onion. You have to, you don't want to overcook it. Now, I am going to cook this till it turns a little bit light brown, not very much. So we'll leave that on low heat for just a minute. When I grew up, I don't ever remember eating grits. We had oatmeal and rice, but I do not remember any grits when I was growing up. But I really like grits. And I like grits. You know, if you're in the South, almost every hotel you go to is going to serve grits down in the dining room or where you have breakfast most of the time. I like grits with a lot of butter and salt. You can put any kind of seasoning you want to on them, but I also really like it with cheese. I like this recipe. We're going to add 4 cups of water to this. Three-fourths spoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and we're going to bring that to a boil. When I fell, I told you I caught one of these grates. You know, I'm standing over here, and that automatically you're going to grab something when you're falling, and this is not bolted down, so it flew over, hit my warmer, and broke the glass in it. I have that drawer over at a glass company, and they're getting it. It's going to be a while before I get it because it's a tempered colored glass, and they said that was slow and hard to get. In this recipe, we're using a regular old-fashioned grits. We're just about to get this to a boil. Last week with my 92nd birthday, my kids celebrated for 2 weeks. My son's family could not meet on my birthday, so we had a party at their house. And then on the birthday, my daughter had a party at her house. And then a little great-grandson had birthday the day before mine, so we celebrated his birthday. And then the church celebrated my birthday, so we celebrated for 2 weeks. And anyway, it was fun. Everybody was so sweet. I don't know how you're supposed to feel when you get 92. I don't think I feel like that. I'm still pretty active. I got to get over this hip broken, but therapy seems to think I'm doing real well. Okay, let's get back to our recipe. We're going to put in dry mustard, and there's 3/4 of a spoon of dry mustard, 3/4 of a teaspoon. And then we've got some red pepper. Now you don't have to use this pepper. I like it that way because I like spicy foods. You can either use 1/8 or 1/4 of a spoon, whatever you are, none at all if you want to. Now we're going to gradually add in our grits. See, they begin to thicken up. We've got to turn this down to a real low heat, and we're going to cover it, and we're going to cook it for 15 minutes. During the 15 minutes, we're going to stir this occasionally, and what you need to do is let it absorb all that liquid. That's what we're trying to do. So it's beginning to really thicken up right now. This recipe I told you will look a lot like a souffle, so we're going to have to separate our eggs. You don't want any of that yellow in it, the yolk, because if you do, these egg whites won't do right. They won't beat up. You know, sometime if I have trouble with the egg like that and can't get the white separate, you can just put it in your hand that way and it'll do great. If you don't mind having your hand messed up. I don't mind my hand being messed up. Okay, we made it through without any yolk in our whites. I'm glad of that. Always really watch that. And you always want your eggs at room temperature too. Now, we can cook this 15 minutes or look at it, stir it occasionally, or cook it until the liquid is absorbed. Now, mine has absorbed about 10 minutes. So I'm fixing to mix in my cheese. That's a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese and 1 1/4 cup of sharp cheddar cheese. And we're going to stir in our 4 yolks of eggs into this too. Now, what I have to do with these eggs is beat them up and put a little of that hot grit in here to keep from looking like fried eggs. Kind of gradually get it. We will gradually add these eggs in here. This is 4 egg yolks. What we're going to do now is transfer this to a bowl, and we've got to beat our egg whites and fold it in it, so it won't be long. It doesn't take long to do this. This recipe's pretty quick. We have to beat our egg whites now. We're going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar in it when it gets a little more beaten up and foams. I'm not really going to do a peak right now. You know, egg whites, after they beat so long, will form a peak stiffness. When I was a young girl, I didn't do the cooking. I had 2 older sisters. But they gave me the job of beating egg whites. And we had one of these things, you turn a wheel on it. And I hated that job. It took so long to beat them. It's not fast as this is, and it took longer than it does to beat this up. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. I think our egg whites are ready now, and we got to put just a dash of Tabasco sauce in here. Just a little bit. And we'll beat that up. I think that will be enough. And we're going to put 1/3 of this in. We're going to fold it now. You don't want to stir it. You want to just fold it. I think that's about right. Now we're going to stir in the remaining egg whites that we have. We're not going to stir them, we're going to fold them in. You don't want to stir them. And when we get this all mixed up, folded in, we put it in a casserole. We just about have this folded in. We cook this on a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes. It'll rise up in the pan and be so pretty. We're going to put this in our baking dish, which is a 2-quart. And I have it buttered. You know, we buttered that to start with. Okay, our grits are ready to put in a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now we have the grits out of the oven. Now, they rose up quite a bit, and I've let them sit here a few minutes, so they always go down in these cases. I took some out to try and see what they taste like. Very good. You got to try this recipe. It's delicious. Now, I do not like grits cool. I always like them warmed up or pretty hot. So always serve them when you're going to serve them warm. I've enjoyed doing this for you today, and I hope you watch us again on a family video. Thanks a lot.